Good Wednesday evening, South Carolina weather watchers. Hopefully, everyone has had a fantastic Wednesday. I am your meteorologist, Peterson. Let's go on and talk about the weather for your Wednesday evening going into your future. First off, before we even get started, three things we got to go over. Number one, it's Wednesday evening, which means we have made it halfway through the week. Let's go and give a round of applause for that. Made it all the way to Wednesday. So let's go on. We already got an applause for that. And so, since that is now out of the way, what are we going to talk about? What are we going to talk about? We are going to talk about our scatter shower and thunderstorm activity, and actually kind of a little bit of a decrease in terms of convection and that widespreadness as we move through the next couple of days. Flash flooding will still be an issue. And then also the tropics. The tropics is also another main thing that we're going to talk about as well. If you have not hit the like button or the subscribe button yet, make sure you go in and do so. And also hit the share button as well. Share with all the people that you know. We're trying to get to 600 subscribers. We're at 559. Yes, 559 right now. And so if we can go on and get to that goal of 600, or even the short-term goal right now of 575, that would be amazing. So let's go on and see what's going on with the radar right now. We do have flash flood warnings right now that are out over here. Never mind, it just expired as soon as I went down there, that's never happened before. But flood advisories are out. Flood advisories are out over here for North Myrtle Beach, going over into Carolina Forest, Conway, Myrtle Beach, as well. And you can kind of see that as we continue down over towards Socastee and Bucksport and Bucksville as well. Again, those flood advisories are for 1 to 2 inches of rainfall, with an isolated 3 inches of rainfall has already fallen, and another 1 to 2 inches of rainfall an hour. I believe that's what this says, are expected over there within the next, over the next 1 to 2 hours. I read that wrong. It will result in minor flooding. So 1 to 2 inches of rainfall to potentially even isolated 3 inches of rainfall could fall over the next hour or two. But most of that rainfall has now pushed over. It's now moving into like Myrtle Beach now. So most of that has now moved out and is moving out towards the coastal region. But everyone else is looking actually relatively dry, unless you're right here near that Savannah, Georgia area. Now, for what's going on throughout the entire U.S., we do have some rainfall going on right now that goes up into the northeast, going into the mid-Atlantic. We also do have some rainfall going on in the Virginia area, North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Louisiana, Mississippi is included. Also over here in Iowa. And even in the Four Corners region, we have rainfall over there, and also in Washington, Oregon, and Montana. We even have some severe weather, an isolated severe storm going on over there instead of northeastern Wyoming. For our cloud cover, we do in fact have some low clouds right now over the upstate, the Midlands as well. The PD also has that scattered to widespread cloud cover as we move into tonight. And obviously with that shower still going on with that flood advisory over there, that's where we also have some cloud cover. But the low country overall does look a lot more dry today, just in general, and also just a lot more clear. As you can see that there's only a little bit of clouds over there. And that was expected. I mean, if we go into our future, if you were there this morning, we talked about how it was going to clear up a little bit, especially as we went into this evening. And you can see that trend will most likely kind of continue for a little bit, but it will slowly start to fade back away as that cloud cover will continue to just stay pretty persistent over the state. So again, there probably has been some regions that have not seen the sun for a good little bit. Now, obviously, seen the sun, but with no cloud cover, nice and clear outside, there's been obviously a couple of days to where it's been like that, and so that will continue. Current temperatures right now, 71 in Lawrence, as well as 71 in Newberry, 72 in Columbia, as well as 74 in Orangeburg, 76 in Somerville, as well as 78 in Charleston, 77 in Georgetown, as well as 77 in Murrells Inlet, 78 in Myrtle Beach, as well as 75 in Conway, 72 in Florence, as well as 70 in Hartsville, 68, or 69 that is, inside of Lancaster, 69 in Rock Hill, and 70 inside of Spartanburg, 71 in Greenville. For low temperatures for tonight, 65 in Greenville and Spartanburg, as well as 66 in Anderson, 66 also in Newberry, as well as 68 in Columbia, 70 in Orangeburg, and 70 in Walterboro, 71 in Moncks Corner, and even 73 in Charleston, 71 in Georgetown, and 72 in Myrtle Beach. For your rainfall, a good amount of rainfall is possible as we move through tonight. Good amount of rainfall is possible as we move through tonight. 100th of an inch to a 10th of an inch that goes from Barnwell over into Orangeburg, Columbia, Winsboro, Newberry is included, Camden's included, Sumter is included as well. And then there also is that 10th of an inch to a quarter of an inch that moves from Cheraw going into, I believe that's the only one with the 10th of an inch to a quarter of an inch. There is a quarter of an inch to a half an inch that's possible for Walterboro, Hilton Head Island, Kingstree, and then a half an inch to an inch also for Florence and Dillon, and then an inch to an inch and a half in Georgetown, inch and a half to 2 inches possible in Charleston and Myrtle Beach. And again, that goes from 8 p.m. tonight going into 8 p.m. tomorrow. So that is it for our total. You can actually see there is a little bit of some rainfall that's possible up there in the upstate, but that's right there along that border, where the tri-county border or the tri-state border, where with South Carolina, Georgia, and North Carolina. As we move on to the SPC outlook, you can see this was the latest SPC outlook right here, and you can see that we still have that thunderstorm risk up there for the upstate, even though most of the rainfall has indeed moved out. You still do also have that thunderstorm risk that goes all the way from just to the west of Columbia, all the way down towards the coastal regions. And honestly, like I said, there's not too much happening right now. So honestly, I think that this thunderstorm risk might just be here just as a precaution because there's just not too much shower activity going on. But one thing that I will say is that the ingredients are probably in place if a shower for some reason gets going. Tomorrow, we do in fact have thunderstorm risk that goes throughout the entire state tomorrow, and Friday is the exact same way. Thursday and Friday, again, both have thunderstorms that are possible again throughout the entire state. If we go on and look at excessive rainfall, I don't know why the website does this. I can't do anything to change it. Yes, I can. Well, kind of, but it doesn't really help much. I don't know why in the world it does this, but that's as dark as I can make it. We still have that slight risk of excessive rainfall that goes on up here for Walhalla going over towards Clemson, and then also down here towards Hilton Head Island, Beaufort, Bluffton, right along that South Carolina-Georgia border near Savannah. And then we also do have a marginal risk of excessive rainfall with isolated flash flooding that's possible for the coastal low country going inland just a little bit, like North Charleston, going into Ridgeland as well. And it kind of takes a little bit of a curve outside of the state, but goes right back in near Greenwood, Anderson, and Greenville, Spartanburg's included, going up into Gaffney as well. Now, as you go into tomorrow, we do have another slight risk that is in effect. Again, the slight risk is actually the scattered flash flood risk, and the green is the isolated flash flood risk that is possible. And again, that was the one that I just showed was for tonight. This one is for tomorrow, Thursday morning going into Friday morning, where we do have, again, another scattered risk for some flooding, flash flooding up there in the upstate. And then that marginal risk or that isolated risk of flash flooding for Rock Hill going all the way down through Columbia, through Orangeburg, through the entire low country. Now for day 3, this is Friday morning going into Saturday. Marginal risk or isolated risk of flash flooding that goes on for Rock Hill going down into, again, all the Midlands, the low country, the PD, Grand Strand. Everyone in there is included for some isolated flash flooding on Friday. Then Saturday morning going into Sunday, another risk up here near Chesney and Gaffney for some isolated flash flooding, and then also over here along the coastal regions, Conway, Myrtle Beach, Somerville, Charleston, Hilton Head Island is included for Saturday going into Sunday. And then day 5, pretty much the same thing, but it's a little bit more inland, going more into inland Dorchester and going more inland into the PD. So just to look at it one more time, this is tonight with slight risk that are included. For tomorrow, this is slight risk that are included up there in the upstate. For Friday, marginal risk. For Saturday, another marginal risk. And then for Sunday, another marginal risk. Let's go on and talk about the models now. So we're going to start off here at the 9 o'clock p.m. time. Frame time is in the top right corner of your screen. Make sure you go in and pay attention to that. As you go in and push this forward, you can see that only just a little bit of shower activity is left over, but we're not really seeing anything else that's really taking a huge toll or anything like that. If you continue to push this forward, though, all the way through to around 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 a.m., again, just seeing isolated shower activity. Now, maybe this is one of these showers right here is what they're talking about, maybe for some thunderstorms, but again, they look relatively weak. And just I would not be surprised if none of these really do anything too bad or too much. As we go all the way to 1 p.m. though, rainfall again still isolated. You're not really seeing too much at all, and most of it is just pretty light. And that's what I was talking about that widespread rainfall, just relatively getting off the grid for now, and it's not as widespread as we were thinking. Now, as we go into the rest of tomorrow, through 2 p.m. going all the way through, you can start to see some more shower and maybe some thunderstorm activity going on, like over there in the PD. The upstate potentially receiving some as well by around 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 p.m. potentially. And it'll start moving into the low country as well a bit later, maybe even as early as 4, 5, 6 p.m. tomorrow. And then it will dissipate by the time you get to around 1 o'clock in the morning. Everything just turns back into isolated, but you still are seeing some isolated shower activity that goes up all the way into the upstate, into the low country, and into the Midlands and as well. Starting off early morning on August the 8th for Friday, it's looking like just some more rainfall activity just on the isolated side again. So this is what we have been used to seeing. You know, obviously we start off kind of isolated at first, but then we get into that afternoon hours, and that's when things start to get a lot more widespread. Now for the GFS, we're going to start off here at the 48-hour mark. You can see that we do have some rainfall going on over here at that time. And, you know, kind of just what I was saying, you're not really seeing too much of anything else. Yes, maybe a couple of days into the future, like maybe even as early as Saturday and Sunday, we might see some rainfall move in. But for the most part, it's just looking like that we could potentially just have just those regular shower and thunderstorm activities for what we're used to, just as we move through. You know, you're not really seeing anything too major. And one thing that's also that has not been present as well is the tropics. You can actually see that you're not really seeing a whole bunch in terms of the tropics. And that's, you know, not really too much of a... And that's pretty much not too much of an understatement, as the tropics have kind of died down a little bit. You can see here that we still have all three risk, but you can see Dexter up here. That's still a 50-mile-per-hour storm that still is going on, and again, that has no threat. But the one that I was looking at, obviously this one in the yellow, has downgraded a lot, which is a good thing. But this is off the southeastern U.S. coast. A weak area of low pressure located a few hundred miles off the coast of the southeastern United States is producing disorganized showers and thunderstorm activity. Some slow tropical or subtropical development is possible over the weekend and early next week, while the system moves north into the northeast column, remaining well off the east coast of the U.S. So this storm right here probably no longer has any sort of threat for a tropical storm or hurricane towards us, as it is now moving to the northeast. So this one is indeed leaving us. So that's getting out of here. And then also the one inside of the orange as well. This one right here is disturbance 2. This actually is now an invest, so they are now actually watching this one. A tropical wave over the eastern tropical Atlantic is producing a large area of disorganized showers and thunderstorms. Environmental conditions are forecast to become generally conducive for gradual development, and a tropical depression could form late this week or over the weekend, while the system moves west-northwest to the west-northwest to the northwest across the central tropical and subtropical Atlantic. Now, this one does have a higher chance to form. It has a 30% chance of forming over the next 48 hours and a 60% chance of forming over the next 7 days. And we can actually go in and look at the current storm, look at the models for it. There's Dexter, but we can go to 96L. So here it is right here. Here's 96L, the one in the orange that we were just looking at. You know, it's trying to get its act together. It's trying to get it together. You know, it has the shower and thunderstorm activity around it. It's trying. But if you go on into the models, look at the models. This is the global hurricane models. You know, you're not really seeing too much from this one. You're not seeing too much from this one at all. And even if you go into the next one, which is the GFS, this one's not really showing too much either, and it just shows it curving. And then even as you go into the GEPS, this one again just has it curving before it even gets to the US. So I think that this one is now, you know, obviously we can't say anything in terms of big time, in terms of like even like little threats like rip currents or surf or something like that. But I think that the majority of the storm, will this storm make landfall? Honestly, I'm leaning towards now the no category, even though it looked like earlier that it definitely could, with landfalls going on all along the coastal regions, going to the Gulf as well. This now looks like it might just be a regular fish storm unless it hits some island, which is possible. But anything else that I'm seeing, I mean, they say really it's only going to get up to a tropical storm strength, even though I know some models say they could potentially even get higher than that. So I think that it might be higher than tropical storm force potentially. But this is just what the models say for now. So that's it for the models in the tropics. As these two areas right here pretty much are kind of curving away from South Carolina and kind of no longer making a threat for us. The crazy score. The crazy score actually did not update. I'm going to come back to that and refresh it, reboot it, see if that fixes it. But I will go on real quick and just go on and skip to the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see what the audience has to say for tonight. Starting off with the live chat, Mr. Chris says, good evening, everyone from Monk's Corner. Please remember to hit the like button and the subscribe button and share with everyone you know. A little thunder, no rain yet. First off, good evening to you. Thank you so much for the weather report as well. We said a little thunder, no rain. And then also, make sure you want to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We've had 14 people tune in, and we only have 6 likes. 14 people have tuned in, and we only have 6 likes. So if you are a part of the 8 people that have not hit the like button yet, make sure that you go on and do so. And guaranteed, some people probably have not even hit the subscribe button yet. You go on and do so. It's free. You can change your mind at any time. Trail says, greetings, Joseph. Greetings to you. Says, rain, rain, rain. Another long day, sleepy again. Well, I won't be here for too much longer. It's only been around 17 minutes. Usually by this time, we would be at 25 minutes, close to 30 at this point. So this is actually one of the shorter ones. Ms. Chris says halfway there. Yes, we're halfway through the week. Thad says, good evening, Joseph, and the rest of the gang. Good evening to you. My Aunt Lula says, hello, nephew. Earlier we had lots of rain and thunder. At the moment, it has calmed down. And yes, that is, expected. Georgetown did have some rainfall. And it was in association with that rainfall that was over there. That was bringing that flooding to Conway, Carolina Forest, Myrtle Beach, going to North Myrtle Beach just earlier, like about an hour or two ago when it started. Let's see what else we have. That says it was a really nice day here inside of San Antonio. Thank you so much for that weather update as well. We'll talk more about San Antonio as that heat will continue. Mr. Anthony says, hello, everyone. Hello to you. And then my cousin Cheryl says, good evening, weatherman. Hope all is well. Good evening, everyone. Hope you all had a pleasant day. All is well with me. Good evening to you. May God continue to bless you all on purpose. Love you much. Keep up the good work, weatherman. Cheryl, thank you so much for that message. And I do appreciate you for listening to us while you are most likely at work. And then finally, my Nana says, hello, Jay. Hope your first day was good. I think it is back to school biz. It is that time. Today was the first day back. Everything went pretty well. Nothing really too much happened. You know how the teachers go on the first day to where they just go on and they talk about their whole life story and just do all that stuff. Not, hopefully there are no teachers that heard that, but they tell their whole life story at the beginning and then they just go on and talk about embarrassing stuff that has happened and all that kind of stuff. But enough about that. Let's go on now and talk about San Antonio, Raleigh, Philadelphia, and Duncan. and also Charlotte, North Carolina, which I still have not made the background for you. I need to go in and do that. But today was just a busy day just in general, so I will get that done though. Starting off with San Antonio first, with low temperatures tonight 77, high temperatures tomorrow at 100, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 77 again. No precipitation is expected tonight or tomorrow. And in terms of severe weather, there is indeed no threat for any sort of severe weather. Just for like the next 8 days. No fire weather or anything like that. Let's go on now and talk about the excessive rainfall. In terms of excessive rainfall, you do in fact have no risk for some excessive rainfall as we move through the next 5 days. So no excessive rainfall, no severe weather, no precipitation in general. You're good. Raleigh is the next one. Low temperatures tonight 67, high temperatures tomorrow at 78, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 66. Rain is likely tonight, and then there also is a chance of thunderstorms tomorrow and tomorrow night as well. For excessive rainfall, you do have a chance for some minor flooding or some isolated flash flooding tomorrow. And past that, that's it for excessive rainfall and also for severe weather. Then for Philadelphia, low temperatures tonight at 68, high temperatures tomorrow at 83, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 63. No precipitation is expected, no severe weather is expected, and no excessive rainfall is expected. Duncan, Oklahoma, the last one, low temperatures tonight 73, high temperatures tomorrow also at 100, and low temperatures tomorrow night at 76. No precipitation is expected, no severe weather is expected, and obviously no excessive rainfall is expected. Going into Charlotte, North Carolina, with low temperatures tonight being at 65, high temperatures tomorrow at 77, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 66. There is a chance of showers tonight and a slight chance of thunderstorms tomorrow during the day. No precipitation for Thursday night. And then in terms of excessive rainfall, no threat for excessive rainfall and no threat for any sort of severe weather. So you are good all for that. So what's going on for the entire nation in terms of weather news? Extreme heat may set some new daily temperature records across the desert Southwest. Hot and dry and windy conditions and dry thunderstorms will continue to bring fire weather conditions for portions of the desert Southwest, also where they're having those daily temperature records. The Central Great Basin and the Rockies will also have some fire weather concerns. Severe thunderstorms and heavy rainfall is expected across the northern plains late tomorrow. Air quality alerts still from the Canadian wildfires still going on in New York, Pennsylvania, Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, also Chicago, going into southeastern Wisconsin and the northern parts of Michigan. And that's pretty much all that's really going on for now. Tropics going on over there in the western side, at least in the Pacific side. They do have actually a couple. They have Tropical Storm Henriette, which is a 50-mile-per-hour storm. That's going to move close to Hawaii, but not quite make it there. And then also over there, they have Tropical Storm Ivo. They're going a lot quicker than we are, and that's expected to become a hurricane as it goes just south of landfall over there near Mexico. And then also just to the north, or actually might impact one of these islands down there. You see 12 p.m. on Friday. You see a little island there, so they might have to watch. Well, they will have to watch for that over there. But that's all that there really is for tonight. If you have not hit the like button or the subscribe button, make sure you go in and do so. Hit the share button as well. Share it with all of the people that you know. Make sure that you are here tomorrow night because we will in fact be talking. We will in fact be talking about the drought monitor. Yes, the drought monitor. And make sure that you go in and leave your predictions. I know what my prediction is. I genuinely think that the drought honestly will be gone. And that there probably will be some abnormally dry left just due to all the rainfall that we've seen, especially in the upstate. But just because I said it, you don't have to make your prediction my prediction. Because just last week I was wrong. And I said that I thought that it would be more that there would be no drought. And then next thing you know, a full-on drought shows up. So just make your own prediction on what you think will occur. and then we'll talk about that tomorrow night. Everyone have a fantastic rest of your Wednesday. We only have 2 more days to go. Only 2 more days to go. And also the crazy score tonight was a 38. But hit those 2 buttons before you go.